I sort of have this vision of Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, twins.
And that's kind of what it's actually like. Yep.
Twins.
My name is Julius. I'm your twin brother.
Obviously. The moment I sat down, I thought I was looking into a mirror.
Only their mother can tell them apart. Twins.
Hi guys, how are we today?
Good.
Good morning. We're doing really well here in the almost springtime in the U.S.
Yeah. Jason, you've got to be more bouncy. Is it just because it's, 7 o'clock in the morning for you? And
I'm hunkered down like a bear. Got locked down. So,
Jason might actually be looking for his digital twin.
Oh, is that a lead-in, Steve?
We had a comment on our digital transformation video, the one that you want to go fast. And a gentleman that I've known from CWG asked for our opinion on the digital twin. So here we are with digital twins. So you want my opinion in a nutshell?
Yes.
They suck.
Okay. Can you say what you really think?
Well, a digital twin really is comprised of three things, right? The physical product, a unique instance in your CAD system that represents the as-sold version of that physical product, and the connection between the physical product and the CAD system. So right off the bat, when you think about variant configuration, what do those three things tell you?
It tells me integration.
Well, integration is one, but it tells me that digital twins are not supported via variant configuration in any way, shape, or form. Because when you go to an engineer, a guy that runs CAD all day for a living and says, create me a unique instance of this, they literally configure that CAD model using, depending on the software, switches, parameters, attributes, whatever they want to call them, and they bring parts in and out, and then they save that thing as a unique, identified CAD model. So in the SAP world, you can think it's almost a material variant. Here's the big difference. The BOM never flexes. So in a material variant, you're using the super BOM, and it's flexing against that super BOM based on the characteristics and values. In the CAD world, the instance is the instance, and it does not flex. That's not to say that CAD programs cannot flex the way VC can. Every single CAD program can do that. The problem is none of the CAD manufacturers, nor the ERP vendors, thinks about a digital twin for variant configuration.
Worked on a proposal for a customer. They wanted integration of VC to their CAD, and they wanted things like, if I make 6 meters long or 18 feet, it would adjust the drawing.
No, that's what we're talking about. And in that integration, how much of it was out of the box?
Oh, there's none out of the box as such. But I think there are some third-party things in there.
Oh, every single CAD program can do parametrics. It can configure that model any way you want it to. The problem is twofold. One, 99.6% of engineers don't know how to draw a parametric model because they've grown up drawing unique instances for everything. That's all they've ever known. And remember, 34.7% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Then the other issue there is that, the PLM systems integrated to the ERP systems, even those third-party vendors, and I'm going to pick on ProE and .Reese and SAP, they don't pass everything you need to flex that model from a variant configuration perspective, even though the reality is the characteristics and the values are directly equivalent to a parameter and a switch in ProE. And there's one other piece we haven't talked about, and that's this glorious Internet of Things thing, right? So if you really want to get cool with digital twins, you need a whole bunch of sensors out on that product that are feeding data into this data lake, the cloud, and you're doing some kind of analytics against that and then bouncing it back against VC to be predictive as to what that thing might need in the future.
That was more my view of the digital twin, was not so much the CAD linking back through a serial number / equipment in SAP, so that you've got an object that then you can create services off or whatever. So take the photocopier, for example. You've got a serial number and then receive information from the photocopier saying it's running out of toner, or tie that back into your ERP or SAP system.
Right, but you're talking about service, right? And that's fine. But now what happens when you come out with some new innovation against that product and you want to push it to the field? That's where the link is mandatory. You don't have a choice. Or the second instance where you don't have a choice is when there's a failure in the field and it needs to come back against your CAD model so you can fix it because maybe it's safety related. And, if you go look at any of the various documents on digital twins, start with the most usual, the Wikipedia, it always calls for three things: the physical, the CAD, and the link. And there's way more to it than that. But my point is even with SAP and Siemens forming this unholy alliance of the PLM system that they now have, I don't think that they've given more than 1, possibly 2 seconds thought as to how it will work in a VC environment.
As we often talk about, like, VC sits on top of a lot of things, and the integration often seems to come later, and hence we have some of these weird deltas with things like APO, and like it's a big topic.
Well, and flip it around, and now let's say that you're the customer, right? And you've been sold this fancy digital thingy, and you have this wonderful, glorious app on your phone, and all of a sudden the company pushes some new option for your product. So you want to go configure that and get a price against it as it's applied to your existing physical product. How in the hell does that happen? I don't think anybody's thought about it yet.
It sounds like a business opportunity.
Oh, and damn, by the way, I want to do it in augmented reality.
Sorry, you wanted? Oh, okay.
I want to look at my construction equipment out in the field and be able to click on it in augmented reality through my phone and go, I need a new XYZ thing. I need a new grater blade, right? Or whatever the hell it is. And these are not cheap pieces of equipment we're talking about. These are very high dollar things. But it gets even scarier when you think about the applications to us as humans. One of the use cases for digital twin is livestock. So you can monitor the health of your cows out in the field. Well, take that to the next step. Now you have a digital twin. There's a twin of Phil, there's a twin of Jason, there's a twin of Steve. And your doctor's using it and manipulating it and saying, oh, you need this test and that test and this test and that test.
So I think, well, you've touched on a lot of things. I think at the very basic, the digital twin concept with SAP and CAD and Internet of Things still needs work, even to have the basics working. From what you're saying, there's even a bigger picture than that.
There's a lot of value in digital twins. But to your point, Phil, we're a long ways away from that. Yes, there are some companies out there. One of them builds very large green and yellow things that get driven through fields that have successfully implemented digital twins. And it's all through custom code. So how sustainable is that? And the question is really going to be, if digital twins are going to move us into the future, when are the PLM vendors, the ERP vendors, and the cloud analytics vendors going to get their act together and start talking to each other?
So Jason, are you confused?
Yeah, a little bit. There's a lot of variables when you're working with VC. It's kind of the strength of VC is that you can do a lot and it's quite manageable. But when you're looking at a drawing and you've got a lot of variables and you want to start talking about parametrics and drawing things parametrically and that side, I can see how it would be avoided. There's a lot of work there and there's a lot of support. But then you have some of those models that lend to it, like the automotive industry. I can see how that's part of their strategy. So it's all new to me, all very interesting, but I'll have to look a little bit more.
So we're at the point where we point at things like subscribing.
There's a button there, over there, and it weaves around and moves.
Yep. And,
Subscribe, tell us what you think, and you can get sucked into these videos just like Jason has.
yep.
Cheers, everyone. Stay
Okay.
safe. Get your vaccination.
Okay.
Another 3 months.
Or longer.